Welcome. This is Christ69 coming to you in our live stream. I know you guys probably told you we'll be making a live stream today, but like, what the hell? It is Monday morning at 3:45 in the morning. I'm here. Let's get on with it now. Now, today's title of the video is What Went Wrong with Stadia? I know people heard about that one. I know Rez had one. Alpha Mega Sin had one. If he had made more content, if he did not. I know Rich from UTech USA made one. Many people have made this video, but I wanted to wait till after it was completely dead. And January 18th, it was completely dead of this year. So I waited a couple months before I made this follow-up video about it. And I already wanted to get in depth to really understand what really went wrong in Stadia, but it won't take very long because pieces sort of fall into place pretty quickly about the longevity of Stadia and why it was not going to last like it probably should have. Now you gotta go back in time, Doc Brown time machine, if you have one. Go back to 2019, a little before 2019. Stadia was revealing a new product, new item to come out. They didn't know what it was. We didn't know what it was. Everybody didn't know what it was except Google. And they decided to announce Stadia at their showcase, Stadia. This is Stadia. We're all Stadia. And showing the Xbox X, One X, and the PS4 Pro, our services more dedicated, more better than these two services right here you have right now in your homes. Ours actually, stream on the access of the internet and stuff like that, and you don't have to worry about hardware. But you have to buy this little dongle thing to go in the back of TV, computer, or whatever to play it. So you can't see right then and there they kind of fouled up. Because, side note, you had to buy the Chromecast to use Stadia. It wasn't available on any other Chromecast or be available on any other Chromecast without Stadia, without the Chromecast that was shipped to you. If you're a founder's person or later on down the line. And that being said, though, that made a lot of people weary, myself included. Like, okay, so it's not hardware bound, but we got to buy hardware to get it. Essentially, I can't plug in an Xbox controller to a PC or a television and download the Stadia app and play Stadia on my TV with my Xbox controller. I have to buy a peripheral system, a peripheral Chromecast with a Xbox looking controller, something like this. This is unplugged, by the way, but something like this to play Stadia on. I couldn't use this, and you guys give me a app to download Stadia, or I plug this into my PC. I'm playing games. Mistake number one. They had you buy their proprietary device with the Chromecast to even use the service because it wasn't going to be available on everything day one. Because we didn't know about that until later on down the line. The Stadia controller that you got with your Founders Edition was the only way you can play Stadia on Stadia. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't use like me. I can play my PlayStation 4 games on PC on my Xbox controller. It's weird, but I can, and vice versa. I play Xbox games, PC games on my PS4 controller if I really wanted to. See, Stadia had no diversity. They only had one controller. That's all you get. Take it or leave it. And with Xbox, yeah, you can play. Yeah, Xbox, you have an Xbox controller, but you can buy corded, wirelessly. PlayStation only had wireless, but you could buy a wired PS4 controller at one time. But Xbox only one did that because they had third-party people make their controllers for them. This one, somewhere. I did a review on it below. If it's a controller like this. No, it smells like aftershave. Sorry, guys, but yeah, it's like this. It looks like they plug in here that way and plug it in. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got going to rapid trails too much. But the point is, though, you can use a PS4 controller to play your PS4 games. And I'm playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, by the way, if anybody's wondering. Great game on Steam. I'm using this and have a dongle that I got, obviously. I did a review on this one. 8 GB do. 8-bit go. 8-bit do. You can get a Best Buy or on Amazon if you want to. I can use this to play any game I want on Steam. I can't play it on Xbox. Well, you can buy little adapters to play games on Xbox or PlayStation if you wanted to. You could do that. Especially Xbox. Sony too, though they weren't being a bunch of damn dicks about it, but being a bunch of damn dicks, what they're doing. But that's how Sony is. But see, I could use either one of these to play my PC games on. Yes, one is Bluetooth because I bought a Bluetooth-enabled system device. One does have Bluetooth controllers and stuff, but I had those for a year and they burned up. So I buy wireless, or I buy wired and have a wireless one. I'm still thinking this one's lacking up a little bit, but I digress. Argue with that. I'll do more digging when I play Miles Morales later on. But yeah, I can play either game I want to with one of these. PlayStation, Steam games, Xbox, kind of more this one, but that's because it's Xbox and whatever. But you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Stadia had no diversity. They had no inclusion of other peripherals to their little weenie roast. You only had to use one of these. You couldn't use either one of these. You had to use their proprietary device and Chromecast that may not everybody wants to spend $160, $170 on. So some people have smart monitors and smart TVs that actually could download the Stadia app to it, or PC if you wanted to, for all damn things to do. But I think that would probably kill the narrative of having no hardware. But you had to have hardware anyway. You had to have the Stadia Chromecast that came with the Founders Edition, or you bought later on, that had the Chromecast controller to actually use the stupid thing. It wasn't going to work on anything else, not until later on. Now, later on, we found out a year later that right before the launch of the Stadia, about a year later, about 9-10 months later, I think it's September, November, that Stadia was not going to have the 4K resolution or anything 4K ready. So that $9.99 you paying for the 4K 60 was not going to happen. So you're giving them free money to play games you may already play on PC or PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox One X or Xbox One X. Your Destiny 2s and your Red Dead 2s and your Borderlands 3 and stuff like that. You're already paying for those. You already bought those on your Xbox, Steam, or PlayStation. But they're going to give you away for free for $9 a month, but you can't access 4K because it doesn't work. That's number two. They didn't have all the ducks in a row, or they lied about features being released on day one. They did not know what they were doing, and they should have got somebody in the industry, even Sega or somebody. Hey, how do we do this? Sega has Sega Channel only in Japan, but it worked. They could have used that that mindset and used Sega to help build that better. But oh no, Google can do everything they want. But they're full of problem addict systems and crap like that, and failed attempts and failed endeavors. But that's the biggest problem too. Features were not available day one. And problem number three, and the biggest one, connectivity was probably the most biggest one. I know Razer did one. I know Gaming Nexus did a video on this, and maybe Chris from Tech USA did one too as well. Talk about how the person was pushing the button to do the jump button, the space bar, and it time lagged me about a second. You saw he pushed the button on the screen, then you saw the character jump. That's time delay. That's a lag delay. It's time delay, and that's what happened. And certain games you're playing, you require crackerjack timing. Certain vendor games that you think you did something and you didn't, because in the studio area in Stadia's area, when the game was being run, it run perfectly fine for them. So they assumed that you saw that or took that action or blocked that kick or hit that ramp or whatever you're playing, or shot that enemy or whatever. But you didn't, because you didn't have a time to react, because your game lagged. And that's the biggest problem. Connectivity was never going to be good, because not everybody has super half ice super fast internet blown out their rear end. Like me, I have 300 megabyte download spectrum. I had 100 and 200 for a while. Now 300 now, download now for a while. I had trouble playing PlayStation Now on my PS4. I had like, I think 100 to think 200. And I think I had a promotion of 400 download with Spectrum when we had the TV service with them, the internet together. And I had so many drops games. I was playing, that's what I was playing. It was Lost Planet, the first one. And the game timed out. I know it's PlayStation, but it was streaming the PS3 game to my system. And I had 400 megabyte, 200 megabyte download at the time. And I had trouble using that. And that's what a company that has a PS5 out now, PS4 Pro, PlayStation 4, great systems, that had trouble streaming me a game. And I'm thinking, we're being told this wave of the future years later, and I had trouble with that. I couldn't imagine Stadia being even better, and it wasn't any better. But even now, PlayStation Now is better because they figured what they needed to do. They adapt to their surroundings. And number four is adaptation. They did not adapt at all. Stadia, the um, damn it. There's many things that I can't remember, guys. I'm kind of tired. My brain's kind of fried right now. But Stadia and many other games that failed. The R Zone, different types of games that did not platform that did not take off. The Virtual Boy. These things, guys, are public appeal. You need to appeal to the public to get them invested into your items. And if you fail to do so, you can't sit there and say, "Oh well," and better next time, because a lot of these companies went out of business. Um, and Stadia ain't going out of business, but Google ain't going out of business, but Stadia went out of business. Not Google, but they moved Stadia to different platforms. They're doing something else with it. But they did not change the times. They did not have no adaptation. They didn't adapt to the situation. Their best time to have Stadia run would have been in 2020, when we had the COVID lockdown and everybody was being forced in their homes. Kids were bugging their parents, driving them crazy. You could have Stadia and threw it at them. And here, kids, go bug this thing. And it could have had time to mature and work if they had people playing it. Even if you had only 5 million people, 5 million people playing this thing for a year, 6 months, half a year, Google could have figured out what the problem was with the bandwidth and been slowly fixing them. Maybe boosting more here, boosting less here, but talking to different companies, hey, Spectrum, Cox, whatever, and trying to work out deals with them. And it could have made a bigger footnote, but it never did. And lastly, number five, Stadia didn't talk about Stadia. Google mentioned Stadia for about 10 months. After that, they didn't talk about it anymore. They didn't create any first-party games. They only had third-party games come out, but most of them were old. Probably the ones that could run better on the system. Because I doubt that Battlefield 2042 will run on Stadia. Cyberpunk ran a little better, but had no crowd in it at all. It's called the Stadia advantage of Cyberpunk. It had no crowd there. Of course, it would work better, but it still had the issues and glitches. but it ran, and that was the selling point with Stadia. Oh, you can play this game, Cyberpunk, on Stadia, but no, it didn't have any crowd backgrounds. So the point being, trying to make it, guys, Stadia failed because Stadia management didn't care. Google just doesn't have the Nintendo mentality to sit there and take Super Nintendo or NES and beat it into the ground with sales, then move on to the NES and beat it into the ground with sales until they finally get to where we're at now. No, Nintendo is like the little engine that could because they don't care. They keep using the same thing until it finally runs out, then they move on to something else. And they, like I said, like they said, they keep beating it in the ground. Sega was something like Stadia, but it had hardware you can use 20 years later. Or Stadia, 20 years later, you might find it in your grandpa's attic. Hey, grandpa, what is this thing? Sit down, son. I'll tell you a story of a failed, a failed platform. Take about 10 minutes to tell them, not yet. But do you see what I'm saying, though? Sega had this potion. Do something. Put a market. See, oh, it didn't work. Oh, screw it. We'll do something else. Yay! That's Sega. They threw money against the wall. Of course, they killed them at hardware manufacturer. But they had hardware, and you can buy or get a Sega 32X CD. Cost you by arm and a leg, and you can play those games. I don't know why you would, but you could because the hardware was not bound upon some damn mystic alien research facility off in Area 51 somewhere. It actually was right there in front of you, and you could plug it in with maybe some cable management, and there you go. You're playing Sonic, and you can go nuts. Stadia, no matter how much money you pump into it, how many games you bought on it, would still have the problems it had because they didn't adapt. They didn't understand. Stadia did not Google did not understand what world they're going into. It's not no, it's not just a passion. It's a way of life for a lot of people. It's way we come home and do it our bad day at work or bad day, whatever. We come home and run people over Grand Theft Auto 5. Or we go play Spider-Man Mirage Mouse and thinking that we are saving the world or whatever. We do this to escape and to make ourselves feel better, but also because we're very passionate about games. Google thought, okay, we'll slap a lunchbox on it and sell it and sell it and sell it. Well, they didn't understand how to sell it to us. Stadia failed because Stadia failed itself. Google did not know what the hell they had. They had a perfect time in 2020 to have to take this little thing called Stadia and make it big. They could have taken Stadia, a no go nowhere platform, with everybody locked home except Nancy Pelosi getting her hair done. Getting locked at home, and had a company had that platform built, even though it was lagging. Like I said, if 5 million people bought the system, bought that thing, started using it, Google gets feedback. Like me, I have YouTube TV as a service, love it to death. I had issues with video syncing. I contacted them. I sent them emails. I sent them videos. Sent them pictures. I gave them everything they needed to know. The one day, perfectly run fine. Send an update, bam. They didn't do that with Stadia. If, even if you have 5 people using it during the whole summer, let's say 2020, and they had emails and videos and pictures and everything else going on, I guarantee they could have sent a couple updates out and at least made it better. Talk to Comcast, Cox, Spectrum. Hey, can you guys do this? Help us out with this. And our system's not working what we ordered. Can you guys update something? Google take the Google dollars and throw it at the companies. Here's $50 million. Here you go. Have fun. Just make our system work better. I think it was basically the broadband service issues they had more than the Stadia issues. And even Stadia didn't have good servers, and it's kind of doing this because there's certain people. Like I said, I have Spectrum, or it's great here. You can live 100 miles away and have terrible Spectrum service. For some reason it's weird that the nodes, whatever, I don't know. Stadia had all that. Google had all that money. They can make it rain, Google dollars, and literally just say, "Hey, Comcast, here's $100 million. Don't tax your people. Don't give them data caps. No, if you're using our service, right then and there, make millions of dollars off that. Google ain't hurting for money. They're the Microsoft when it comes to digital garbage. So why in the hell did this work? It's very simple. They didn't care about it. See, Phil Harrison was one of those weird guys. He was a slick, cool guy, but like I said before in yesterday's video, he's that 40-year-old father trying to ride a skateboard in front of his kids and his friends and their friends and falling near and breaking his ass on the ground and burying his kids. That's what Phil Harrison was to me. Granted, he's probably a great entrepreneur, a great thinker, but he is no gamer when it comes to the fact of knowing what gamers want. We don't want fancy commercial about some guy kicking a box and big long goofy hair and a kayak and don't all that shit. What we want is this. See this here? This shit works wonders when it actually works, This stuff here, this does too. I could play all that shit right here on this. I don't have to have some damn server over an Area 51 running this damn thing. All I have to have is a controller, of course, plugged in, of course, and my game working. Now do updates, whatever that's fine. And I understand what they were trying to do with no updates, no issues. Well, that's great though. But if it doesn't work, Google, it doesn't mean jack shit. And nobody wants to understand this. Nobody wants to understand why Stadia failed. It failed because nobody at Google knew what the hell they had to do. I mean, if you went to GameStop and found a GameStop employee to here, we'll make you our liaisons. Talk to these corporate guys with fancy degrees about how to make a game, how to make the service work. I got family members in IT that can do a better job in this shit. Hell, you can call them and give them a job. They'll fix it for you. It's just not knowing what your fans were craving for. Okay? This is not some Google graveyard nonsense. But Google just doesn't understand what they have. They had the golden goose that could have shit out so many golden eggs and put a smile on like the Joker had. And they'd be smiling like Joker. But they didn't do that. They just took it, oh, well, golden goose is dead. Threw it behind them, kept marching on. Yes, they used the Stadia and other things. But it could have been so great. Could have been that thing. But they failed when they had to have dedicated hardware. You had to buy the dedicated hardware to use the damn thing. You couldn't use a wireless controller like this or like this to play your damn Stadia on an app on a computer or a phone or TV or a refrigerator screen or a vehicle driving down the road with a kid screaming. You say, "Hey, go play Stadia, leave me alone." And they're playing Stadia, I don't know, Barbie's Adventure or what the hell kind of shit, I don't know, whatever. But you guys see what I'm saying out there? Like, get out there listening to me out there, understand what I'm saying? They had the golden goose, and they could have just to the golden goose and strangle its neck and have it shit out a big gigantic, big on Easter egg of money. They didn't do that. They played around with it. They smacked its nose, and they wondered why it wasn't making any money. And then the real sad thing was if you bought Cyberpunk 2077, they sent you the free Google Chrome and the Google Chrome and the controller with a subscription of 1 month of $9.99 for Google Pro. This guys, that game only worth like $60, $70, and they sent you a $130 unit with a Chromecast and a controller. Now, it rips my hair out thinking they could have just used the damn Xbox controller or PS4 controller, or PS5 controller, or whatever, or Logitech controller. And like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? It irritates me because it's stupid. Google TV is great. Google Stadia is crap. But it bothers me that they didn't bother to even try anymore. And after the first year, after half the first year, they stopped talking about Stadia. There's no Stadia anymore. Tell me the last time you saw anybody in Google talking about Stadia. Not very long. Twitter's like, oh, we're not canceling Stadia. 6 months later, oh, we regret to inform you we're shutting down Stadia on January 18th. So they pretty much, let go of this the golden goose. Hell, no, I have no fancy degree. I'll go on there, open the door. You bastard! It's how you're gonna run your company from now on. You're gonna do this, and this. We'll get trouble with lag issues. Well, contact the cable companies. Contact the wireless company. Contact, I don't know, Verizon, whatever, whoever, how they play their games, and get them to understand that they need to work with us, not against us. See, I would have been there saying, I would have told Phil, hey, Phil, how's cable companies doing with this service you guys are trying to peddle out here? It could be an issue with the servers having issues with IP issues with home or with the cable companies or whatever the case may be. See, that's me. I would take and hey Google, take $100 million and throw it at the cable company here. Now let our app go free. Let our people who are playing our service on your internet service have it with no data caps, no issues, no nothing, no throttling. If that would help, they never did that. They never cared enough to do that. This is freaking Google. They're the Microsoft of damn freaking internet browsers or search engines. For crying out loud, you can now they make more money. They piss and shitting out and puking money at this point in time, but yet they can't. It's just it bothers me. What went wrong? Google failed Stadia, and like I talked about GameStop and the rest of these companies, it's not always a real quick, simple how it happened. Titanic didn't sink because it hit an iceberg and sunk. It sank because it had shitty ass, steel and the rivets were popping out and it had all these issues and water leaking in and it hit an iceberg, tap like Morse code, then it sank. Everybody didn't know what it was doing, running around freaking out. But they had enough lifeboats. That's what Stadia was. They were doomed to fail day one, regardless of what they did. They were the Titanic and they sank. And the thing was, it sank faster than Titanic, but it was still more destructive. People lost their jobs at Google who were working at Stadia. They said they didn't lose a lot of people, but yeah, okay, sure. Like, yeah, whatever. They probably fired people like that left and right. And I hope they didn't. But let's be honest with ourselves. They probably did. And it sucks and it's sad because like a lot of people were working their asses off for this company for the Stadia who really believed in what they were doing was going to change or revolutionize the game industry. And you had Luna right now, Luna and Amazon still floating around up there somewhere. It's on my TV. I can download my TV if I wanted to because it could have a Fire TV, but still they're going the way that Stadia should have gone. Will Luna TV, will Luna, an app from game app from Amazon work out? It may get old crap like Stadia did. But you know what? If it works out and it's cheap, people will play it. People will, okay, well, I have this little laptop here. I can't bring my Xbox One X with me or my PS5 Pro. I'll bring this laptop with the Luna on it. I have some games I play on there. At least they're using it, and they may use it maybe once a year. But you know what? A lot more people use Stadia. So it just and it just really bothers me, guys. I know I read about this thing, read about thing more, watched YouTube about it today. Like, you know what? Stadia is just Google is just full of crap. They had a great opportunity with Stadia, but they didn't know anything about gaming. But assume they can waddle themselves out there and plop themselves down on the on the throne and declare their own throne, become the greatest thing since sliced bread, and all we got was a popcorn fart. And that's really what we got. And it's sad because it took a lot of people's jobs, a lot of people left, a lot of people quit, a lot of people got burnt out, probably stressed out too, probably. Probably a lot of drinking started on this, and I pray they're all right. But a lot of people probably got started drinking, probably. All the stress going on in their lives with Stadia and other crap at the time, and people Google doing this to them. Wonder why this thing ain't just shooting off in the air because hell, and Nintendo didn't take off overnight. So did Sega or Microsoft or any other companies that have games right now out now. It takes time to build up a fan base behind you, an army to march with you, and you change with times. But like I said, guys, I appreciate you guys watching my video. But yeah, Stadia man was a one screen. No, I wouldn't bought in the Stadia. I had no need for it. But if it was still around, you too, buddy. You too, my friend. Thank you, 1989. I'm doing real good, actually, by the way. I went down 17 pounds. I feel great. I'm still a big guy, I'm still a big guy. But like I said, at Stadia, man, kind of sucks, though. Kind of wish they would have been around a little longer. Like I said, though, I probably wouldn't have bought him. Probably would have got at me later on down the line, but I wouldn't have bought him and like gung ho into it. But I would have, hey, let's try this out. Now I might try out Luna. I might try that out because that's doing a little better, or make a little more tread water, doing a little more treading water right there. So it actually is doing better than what Stadia have done. But still, I mean, I don't play games on the go. I don't drive my car down the road playing a game. I don't do that. Some people do that, and of course that's just plain suicide. But that's people ain't gonna listen to me. So yeah, who they are, not me, and it's not you. But like I said, guys, I don't think Stadia had a fighting chance, but it had a good chance if it actually tried, and it never did, and that bothers me a lot, and should bug you guys too as well, because it's a gaming platform that could have been something big that we all could have used. Even like I said, if you go on spring break and you go with friends and Google Stadia on your little phone and you're playing on your phone, even maybe when you're getting done partying and hooting and hollering in your motel room and hotel room, play Stadia a little bit. Even play for 20 minutes the whole time you're there, whatever. At least you have it. When it rains or whatever, you can play. But you know, I guess they're trying to jump on the Xbox Live Ultimate bandwagon, and they missed that train, I guess then. And but once again, 1989, I appreciate your thoughts and you guys' prayers. Doing a lot better though. Life ain't too bad. Nothing really going on that already can't get fixed. You guys be blessed out there. God bless all you guys. Like, subscribe, notification, ring that bell. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.